Hello my dear students, welcome to computer science class. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is arrays, which is chapter number 11, and it is very important chapter from your exam point of view. So let us study about the arrays and what is the use of studying this arrays. Suppose if we want to group the data items of same data type, like more than one data items, if I want to group them and which are of same data type, then I can make use of the arrays. Say for an example here, I have declared an array, okay, whose capacity is to store the 10 elements and whose data type is also same. Herein all the numbers are of type integer. Therefore, I can group them under the same name having the same data type. Then such concept we can refer it as an array. So therefore, an array is an ordered collection of elements of same data type that share the same name. Same data type in the sense what? The data type of this number is integer, isn't it? 35 in the sense it's integer. If it is 35.0 in the sense that is a floating. Okay, here again 33 is an integer, 42 is an integer, 10, 14, 19. All these are what? The whole numbers. They are the collection of the whole numbers that is of same data type. Under the same name or that share the same name in the sense all are grouped under the same name. The name is what here we have given as A. So therefore, I can refer this as an array. 35, 33, 42, 10, 14, all these elements are being stored under the array known as A here. So therefore, how to declare an array? Array, I have to specify the data type here, followed by the array name, followed by the size of the array. Now this is what is the size of the arrays. This instruction or this statement tells the compiler that we are going to use an array known as A, whose data type will be an integer and the size of the array would be 10. What do you mean by the data type of A should be an integer? Means this array can hold 10 elements and all those 10 elements should be of type what? Same data type, and therefore all will be of type what? Integer. Similarly, I can have one more array like float A of 5. If I write float A of 5, 5 I have, then means what? A is the array name that can hold 5 elements and all those 5 elements data type should be of type floating numbers or it should be a real numbers. I hope children you are able to get to know what is the array. Therefore, I can refer as, now this is an array. An array is an ordered collection of elements of same data type and that share the same name. Therefore, I have given an example here. An array is of type integer whose capacity, how many elements it can store here? That is 10. Remember children, array always starts from the position that is 0. Okay, like for you 10 elements mean in the sense you start counting from like 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But the array always starts with the element, that is it starts with a number that is 0. So therefore it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. I hope you are able to understand. So I am saying that these elements are being numbered as from 0 to n minus 1. What do you mean by this n? See, n is the total size of this array. That is what is n. Now since our array number, okay, which is called as an index, okay, we call it as an index. So as you see, these 0, 1, 2, 3 numbers, they are called as indices, that is index or the indices, or you can also refer them as a subscript, which are used to locate the positions of the elements. That means I can say 35 is element present at the location 0, or 35 is present at the index 0. Now this index refers to the position of elements. Like for an example, 10 is being placed at the subscript or index, okay, at 3. 27 is being placed at the position what? 6. So these elements have been numbered from 0 to n minus 1. That is what, like if you count right from 0, definitely it will stop. 10 elements, it will stop at the 9. Isn't it? If at all, if your subscript is starting from 1, then it will be iterating up to nth position. If your subscript or index, if it is starting from 0, definitely it will end with the n minus 1. I hope you are able to understand. So therefore, I can say an array, it is the ordered collection of elements of a same data type under the same name, or that share the same name. Both are the same. Then for an example, int a of 10. And all these elements are being referred by their positions. These are the positions, wherein for this position we have another name as an indices, or you can also refer them as a subscripts. I hope children, are you able to understand? So these are the elements, these are the actual values children, and these are the position. Therefore the total size of the array is about 10, but here at the subscript is started from 0, okay, and therefore it has been ended up to 9. Moving on to the next slide here. Yes, now look at this, how the array elements are being stored in the memory. Now usually we were like, till now we have seen the programs wherein we have taken only the one element or two elements and then we have done the calculations. What if I want to store 5 elements? Okay. What if I want to store 10 elements in the memory? Okay. In that case, then we have to go for the arrays. If you want to store the 10 elements or 5, okay, more than 2. Okay, any number of elements, if it is you have to store of same data type under the same name, then we have to make use of the arrays. Now when I say int a of 10, as per this example, when I say that is int a of 10, how these 10 elements are being stored in the memory? That is, they are stored in the memory in contiguous memory allocations. Contiguous memory allocations in the sense sequential locations, one after the another. It is not like that, like first 2 elements are being stored, then a gap, again next 2 elements, then 2 gaps, again 1 element. No, array elements will not be stored in such way. Array elements are always being stored in the contiguous memory allocations, like this, contiguous memory allocations, where they are being referenced by index or the subscript. Referenced in the sense what? Where we can access them, okay, where we can access them with the help of index or the subscript. See, if I don't have these positions at all, then I would never get to know at what position the 10 is being stored, the element 10 is stored, at what position 44 is being stored. I will never get to know without any index or the subscript. So in order to fetch the element or in order to store the element into an array, the index or the subscript is very, very important. That subscript or index is nothing but it refers to the positions of the elements in the array. So therefore, now when I am referring to the subscript or the index, how you will get to know it is represented by the, that is angle brackets, that is a, sorry, not angle brackets, that is a square brackets. So subscripts are usually being represented in the form of square brackets, and it should be an positive integer. It shouldn't have like int a of -5. I can't write that way. Like for an example, here we have int a of 10. Now 10 is a positive integer, but the same like int a of minus 10 I cannot write. Remember, always the subscript is being represented by the square brackets and an integer value, which should be a positive integer value. As I was telling, I can fetch this particular element, okay, only when I know the subscript or the index. Now look at here the example. How I can write a of 0. A of 0 in the sense what? This 0 indicates it's a position. What is being stored in a of 0? Now this is what is a of 0. This is a of 1. This is a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. What do you mean by this a? A is actually our array name. A is an array name. As in our previous example, we have seen int a of 10, isn't it? That means what? Array name is a, which can hold the 10 elements of data type, that is integer. Similarly, now I am telling a of 0, at a of 0 in the sense a of 0th position, the element 35 is being stored. What is there stored in a of 1? In a of 1, element 33 is stored. Similarly, a of 2, 42 is stored. A of 3, 10 is stored. Like this, we can fetch the elements, or we can store the elements into the array by the help of this particular index or the subscript. I hope children you are able to understand. And one more thing I wanted to tell you. Suppose only 0, only 1, only 0, only 1, 2, 3. These actually represents what? Positions. But when I refer like this, array name followed by the subscript like a of 0, then actually I will be referencing to the value. Okay. Simply if I write 0, that 0 represents what? It's a position. But the same thing if I write like a of 0. A of 0 in a sense, it is actually referring to the element. Simply if I write as 6, 6 is nothing but the position. But if I write like a of 6, if I write, then I will be actually referencing to the element which has been present at the 6th location. Now here a of 9 it is there, a of 9. Actually what do you mean by this a of 9? I am actually referencing, or I am actually fetching the element what has been present at the a of 9. Therefore I got this particular value as 31. I hope children you are able to follow this. Now moving to the next slide here, the very important one. Here for an example, we have taken an array. See here, I have given the array name as A. Okay, wherein we can access these elements of the array with the help of the subscript. Can you see here? A of 0. This is what? A of 1. See, these are the position. Now I was telling no, only simply if I write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then these are referring to the positions. Whereas when I am referring with the array name followed by this index, then within the subscript, then I can refer that I will be referring to the, that is value. So a of 0 is the name of the first element which has been present at this particular position. So a of 1, when I refer, a of 1 will be the second element which has been present at the position 1. Similarly, a of 2, 3, 4 up to 6. Now looking at this array, what is the size of the array? The size of the array is 6. Okay, the size of the array is, here actually what it is, size of the array is actually, now 6 elements are there, means the size of the array would be 7 children. Because here we are starting the subscript from 0. From 0 if you are counting the 7, definitely it would stop at 6th location. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total the size of this particular array is what? 7. Understood? So therefore when I am referring as in the place of a of 4, okay, it will be the, which element? It will be the 5th element, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be the 5th element which has been present at the position 4. So in general what I will take as a of I, because position keeps on changing, no? So therefore in general I can write a of I is the element that has been present at the position I. Okay. every time 0, 1. Now this time the size of the array is 7, but in my previous example the size of array was 10. I cannot fix those size. Okay, depending upon the program needs, we are taking the size of the array. So therefore we cannot fix the size. Therefore in general we are referring to as a of I here. Okay, so therefore the method of numbering the ith element, isn't it? I am numbering these. Okay, 10 I am numbering at 0th location, 20 I am numbering at first location, 30. So the method of numbering these ith element with the index n minus 1, isn't it? 7 means what? That would be an I minus 1. So this is nothing but 0 based indexing. This is nothing but 0 based indexing. Now what exactly the 0 based indexing is? Nothing but it is the element. Okay, it is the element always same as the number of steps from the initial element. For an example, I can tell you the element a of 3, I can say, see, the element a of 3 is 3 steps ahead of a of 0. Okay, the element a of 3, when I am referring, it is the 3 steps ahead from the a of 0. See, now this is a of 0, that is 1, 2, 3. 3 steps ahead at that position a of 3 is been placed. Now when I refer as a of 5, okay, a of 5 in the sense what? It is from the a of 0, from this particular location, 5 steps ahead we have the position, that is a of 5 is present. If you count and see, so at this position, leave this, from a of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this method of numbering the ith element, keeping with the index, the last element as I minus 1, this method of numbering is said to be as 0 based indexing. And why it is referred to as 0 based indexing? Because our array subscript starts from the 0th position. I hope children you are able to understand. So now once after you see the video, refer to the textbook also. Once again go through the textbook so that you can clearly understand. Because it is the first time, you may feel it bit confusion, but anyway in my doubt clarification class also once again I will be repeating. Okay, so just you should remember here, I would like to glance here what concepts you should remember in the case of arrays. See, why we have to use the arrays? Whenever we want to club or group the data elements of same data type, I want to group, then I have to go for the arrays. In programming, we need to store the integer numbers. We need to store separately the floating point. I want to group the floating point numbers as one group, integers as one group, characters as one group. In that case, for the grouping, these arrays would help. How they help you, by providing the same name, under the same array name, you can store all those elements, and by specifying the size of that particular group. So therefore, here how I can write in the form of programming, that is array name followed by its size, and it should also have its data type. Like this, I can tell the compiler that I am going to use an array whose data type is integer, and it can store the 10 elements, and all the 10 elements of data type should be of integer itself, that is whole numbers itself. Understood? Whenever I want like this grouping, then I can go for the arrays. Okay, now these arrays, okay, they are being accessed or we can reference only with the help of the positions. If we doesn't know the position, then we cannot access or fetch the elements from the array. Therefore, what are these positions are referred to? These positions can be referred to as an index, or you can refer it as an subscripts or indices also. I hope you are able to get the clarification. Now here, in the second thing what we should know is, here how these elements are stored. See, once they are being grouped, how they are being stored in computer memory? They are being stored under the contiguous memory allocation. Okay, contiguous memory allocation, or you can even refer as a consecutive memory allocation. In the sense means one after the another without leaving any of the gaps. Like this, suppose if you have given 10, then continuously 10 blocks of memory it will allocate. Continuously 10 blocks. If I give the array size as 5, then continuously those 5 blocks will be allocated for that particular array. Okay. Then how we are referencing and how we are referencing the element, how to fetch this particular element, how to extract this particular element by using the subscript, and how the subscript has been denoted by the square brackets. Okay, to refer this particular element, the value, to refer this particular value, that is 14, I need to make use of an subscript, that is a of 4. So when I say a of 4, I am actually referencing to the value. Only if I refer to the 4, it is actually referring to the position. I hope children you are able to understand. Now what is exactly the zero based indexing? Zero based indexing is nothing but it is the process of numbering the ith element, because see here, every time the position has been changing, isn't it? So the process of numbering these positions of these particular elements, in general taking as an ith element up to what? Up to always I minus 1. Then this method is said to be as zero based indexing. Now suppose if I give an array like int a of 100, if I write a of 100 when I write also, then your array position starts from 0 and up to 100 in the sense 0 to 99 it is. Therefore we refer it as an I minus 1. Understood? Okay, 0 to 99. If array will never start from the 1. It always starts from the 0th position only, or the location only. I hope children you are able to understand the concept. Now moving on to the next one. See where we can use this arrays. So when I want to prepare the list of the students in a class, okay, list of the students or the list of employees. See, list of the students in the class means suppose 75 students are there. 75, how I am taking? 75 is the kind of a data type. Okay, I can say CS of int CS of 75. When I write like this, my array name is CS. Total number of how many students are there? 75. And what will be the range of that particular array? It will lies from 0 to 74. Okay, 0 to 74. Like this, whenever I want to prepare the list of the students in a class or list of the employees in a company I want to prepare, okay, list of the customers I want to prepare, and list of the books in library if I want to prepare, then I can go for the arrays. You may ask, how about the list of customers? List of customers, I can take the names. Names also you can group. Names also you can group. Like how we are having int a of 10, like that you can also have char. Okay, char stands for character. Okay, char C of 10 when I give. Okay, it says that at least 10 characters you can store in that particular array. So like this, whenever you want to group the elements of same data type under the same name, then array concepts are used. Now moving on to the different types of arrays. We have the 3 different types of arrays. The first one is one-dimensional array here. First is one-dimensional array, and the second one is two-dimensional array, and the third one is multi-dimensional array. So these are the 3 different types of arrays. So question they will be asking, what is array, and mention the types of array. So when they ask what is an array, it's an ordered collection of elements of same data type that share the same name, and then you have to mention the types of array as one-dimensional array, two-dimensional and multi-dimensional array. Now let us move on to see what exactly this one-dimensional array is. Okay, see, one-dimensional array is a set of elements of same type in which each element is accessed by only one subscript. Okay, so these are actually one-dimensional arrays. They are representing the set of elements here, children, okay, of wherein they can be accessed only by one subscript. That means how many subscripts I have used here? Only one subscript. Now it is telling to the compiler that the array name is B here, and it can have the capacity of how many? 5 elements of data type, that is integer. So we are able to access this particular array B by only using one subscript. Then such kind of an array we are referencing as one dimensional array. Let us see what is two-dimensional array, then you will get an idea. Now two-dimensional array is nothing but it is an array in which each element has been accessed using two subscripts. Can you see here? It is two subscripts. Such an array, it is actually representing what? The number of rows, and this is actually, this subscript is representing what? The number of columns. Like for example, for the multiplication of table, so for an example, to have the matrices, in that case wherever you have rows and columns, you want to group them, in that case we are going to use the two-dimensional array. I hope you are getting the difference. So one dimensional, they are the set of elements where they can be accessed by only one subscript, whereas the two-dimensionals are the one where we are able to access the elements by using two subscripts. Then such an array we can refer it as a two-dimensional array. I hope students you have understood today's class. So in my next video class we shall continue. Thank you students. Take care of yourself.